This is The Best Girl of Umamusume Mejiro McQueen by Glaive Kyo. We're dropping a like, we're dropping a sub, and let us watch.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right.
Oh.
You're okay? Oh, what?
Oh, I remember this. This was, you see, what people don't secretly know is that I know about every drama on the internet that's ever existed. This was based off of an event where people were cheating and they zoomed in on them and they got caught. That's what this is mimicking.
What makes a modern legend endure? In the past, a story was a more or less finished product. It was written, filmed, and painted, and it existed as a static monument to a moment in time. Well, today, a story is
Why? Why is she here? I swear, chat, I'm starting to think that you guys just link me videos that have Creek clip-ins on purpose. They just have random moments of Creek at any point in time. You guys specifically send those.
Rarely finished when its creators are done with it. In the age of the internet, a legend is a living conversation. The source material provides the starting point, but the character's meaning is also forged by the massive creative and sometimes chaotic community that grows around it. There are a few better examples of this phenomenon than a character from the world of Umamusume, a franchise where the spirits of Japanese racehorses are reborn as anime girls, destined to run again. On the surface, Mejiro McQueen is the picture of elegance, a poised aristocratic young woman from a prestigious family, a queenly figure who seems to float above the fray. Her immense and lasting popularity, however, goes far beyond a nice design or a compelling story. She is a perfect case study in how a modern icon
Donuts! Oh, as a fellow American, I can approve of donuts.
Is forged from three distinct interconnected layers.
Goshi,
First,
no!
there is the bedrock of history, the real racehorse, a Hall of Fame legend, whose triumphs and tragedies provide the entire story with its dramatic weight. And then, there is the masterful adaptation, the fictional character who translates that history into a person with real emotional depth. And finally, there is the endless reinterpretation by the fandom.
Hold your horse. I get it. And of course, the ka-chow, because you gotta have the ka-chow.
The community that keeps her story alive, turning her into a living, breathing part of their culture. To truly understand
what was wrong with it?
We have to unpack all three
of
those
mustard
layers, and that means we have to start where her story began. Not in an animation studio, Hero Farm did things differently. They were what is known as an owner breeder.
Owner breeder? What is an owner breeder? Where you breed the owners? Usually in the horse racing industry, producers breed and produce horses directly on the ranch, and owners purchase horses from the producers to race. However, Mejiro Ranch was operated in the form of an owner breeder, who owns the horses he produces and goes to races without selling them. Oh, I get it. They breed their own horses and they also own them. You don't breed the owner. They own and breed the horses.
Basically, they bet on themselves. They raised their own horses, kept ownership, and raced them under their own name. It is a high-risk, high-reward strategy. If the horse is a dud, you eat the entire cost. But if it wins...
Oh my god, I thought he was going to say you eat the horse. But no, he said you eat the cost. My brain went somewhere else.
You get all the glory and all the prize money. This business model created a specific kind of pride, a self-reliant, almost aristocratic identity built entirely on producing homegrown champions. When you see the Mejiro family in the anime with their sense of collective honor and legacy, that is not fiction, it is a direct translation of the real-world farm's ethos. But this real-world story has a tragic postscript. The Mejiro farm no longer exists. It was hit by a perfect storm in the late 90s, a widespread economic downturn, the overwhelming dominance of a new powerful bloodline called Sunday Silence.
Bum bum. But Mejiro Ranch doesn't sell horses? Yeah, they just keep them, right? They just breed them and race them. They don't sell them or trade them.
That they couldn't compete with. And as if a financial crisis and a genetic tidal wave weren't enough, the universe decided to throw in a volcano for a good measure.
Wait, a volcano too? Later in 1977, Mount Usu, a volcano near the ranch, exploded, causing damage to the extent the entire ranch was covered in volcanic ash. In act, thanks to volcanic ash raising the fertility of the soil, it had a positive effect. Man, that's crazy. Imagine getting your place shut down because of volcano.
And you might think this is a metaphor, but no, it is an actual volcano because a nearby eruption damaged the property. And that was that, I guess.
Yeah, volcano and earthquake in 2011. Apparently, they were just so OP that the heavens above had to nerf them. They said, look, you're creating too many elegant, fantastic horses. Here's a volcano. Here's an earthquake. You're too strong.
History isn't usually spelled out in the show, but it hangs in the background. It gives the fictional characters quest to uphold the Mejiro name in a sense of quiet, noble urgency. They aren't just running for glory, they are running against obsolescence. And Mejiro McQueen was born to be the peak of that ambition. His family tree was meticulously planned for greatness. His father was a Tenno-sho winner, his grandsire was the respected Mejiro Asama, his mother, Mejiro Aurora, even produced another major champion. This was a bloodline steeped in purpose, one that traces all the way back into a British mare named Astonishment, imported to Japan.
It needed the heaven and earth to do something to stop the Mejiros. I know, they were too fancy and too good. The heavens and earth had to team up to nerf them.
Japan in the early 20th century. He wasn't just a horse, he was a product of a generational plan. But a pedigree is just potential, you know what I'm saying? It has to be proven on the track. So between 1990 and 1993, Mejiro McQueen established himself as one of Japan's greatest stayers. A stayer is a specialist in long distance running, and we are talking about grueling races. 3,000, even 3,200 meters. He is also what is known as a late maturing horse, meaning his greatness wasn't immediate. He had to grow into his power, which makes his career feel earned. And earn it he did. Over his career,
kinda like the Gold Clan line.
1 billion yen. His story on the track is defined by 3 key moments. First, his
was it brought in 1 billion yen, but also had a bigger billion yen incident than Gold Ship. I forget exactly how much McQueen's billion yen incident was, but I definitely know it was more than Gold Ship's.
Peak, winning the grueling Tenno-sho back-to-back, a historic achievement that cemented him as the king of long-distance running. Second, the controversy. In 1991, he ran a perfect race in the Tenno-sho Autumn, crossed the finish line first, and was then disqualified for interference. The ultimate what if. He won, but he didn't. And third, the unthinkable defeat. In 1993, he was poised to make history with a third consecutive Tenno-sho win. He was the overwhelming favorite, but he lost. He was defeated by a horse named Rice Shower. And to make the moment absolutely definitive, Rice Shower didn't just win, he shattered the track record. It wasn't a fluke, it was the definitive crushing end of an era. Which, if you want me to talk about Rice Shower, make sure to like and subscribe, comment down below. But let's continue. I think still you—
True. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to Crack Skulls on YouTube and Twitch.
His status was undeniable. He was named Japan's best older male horse, and shortly after retiring, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. His legend was secure. His story, however, does not end with his racing career. Upon retirement to the prestigious Shadai Stallion Station, his influence actually grew. While he had successful children, his most profound genetic mark came as a dam sire, a maternal grandfather. It was through his daughters that his legacy found a second life. He became the patriarch of a new golden family, including the brilliant brothers Orphever and Dream Journey, and most famously, the chaotic, mercurial fan favorite, Gold Ship.
That's right. It's my favorite, your favorite, everyone's favorite, Gold Ship. The grandfather started the billion accidents. That's why people, you can't blame Stay Gold for Golshi's billion yen incident. You have to blame McQueen because it came from the McQueen side.
And that connection is where the line between history and fiction begins to get very interesting. So right now we have the historical blueprint, an epic story of triumph, tragedy, and lasting legacy. But the question for the creators of Umamusume was, how do you translate that into a character, a living, breathing 2D anime girl that an audience can connect with? Well, you start with the design.
Oh, nice top hat and monocle. I approve. I really approve. Wait, hold on. I gotta stand next to him. Look at these fine gents. Aren't they fantastic? Isn't this the most fine gentleman you've ever seen in your whole life? Why, yes, that is quite a lovely cup of tea. I do quite enjoy it on a nice Sunday afternoon.
In Mejiro McQueen's case, her design is basically a condensed narrative.
One has a monocle, so that one is better. If I had an eye, I would have a monocle. Where's your monocle, Skulls? My original design for this character did have a monocle, but I figured since I don't have eyeballs, it wouldn't make sense, and I don't have skin to hold it, so I decided to go without the monocle.
Every choice has a reason. The real horse was a gray, meaning his coat gradually whitened as he aged, so the character's uniform is a striking black and white. It is a direct, clever visual nod. The elegant white frills are even said to represent the storied Mejiro family lineage itself. The whole outfit is regal, almost palatatial, which reflects her queenly name, and the armband she wears is an explicit symbol of her immense pride in carrying that name. It is all there before she even says a word. This attention to detail extends from her design right into her personality. On the surface, she is the perfect Ojo-sama. That is a common archetype in Japanese media. Basically a high-class noble lady.
Oh, I can be an Ojo-sama too, look. Why yes, I am quite the Ojo-sama. I need to stop doing stuff like that.
She speaks with an incredibly formal pronoun.
一線を画す走り。お見せしますわ。
She has impeccable table manners. She enjoys a proper afternoon tea. She is, by all accounts, the picture of elegance desuwa.
I ran out of tea, desuwa. I'm gonna have to get more. I used to start a day with some morning tea, but I ran out. Cringe, dude, ... Alright, I won't be an Ojo-sama anymore. Jeez, you try to be an Ojo-sama one time and your chat turns on you.
And if that's all she was, she would be pretty boring, I think. Or maybe not, I don't know. Anyways, her real appeal comes from the contrast, the immediate subversion of that perfect image. Because underneath all that poise, she has a massive, all-consuming weakness for sweets. Parfaits, cakes,
Aww,
cookies.
adorable.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Wait, what? What do you mean me? I'm just a skeleton.
you can be sweet.
I'm sweet? Really? Me?
She is also surprisingly gullible,
I always knew I was sweet. Confirmed.
easily convinced of the most ridiculous things. This duality is what makes her so endearing. There is no better example of this than a little detail from the game's story. She has, on occasion, woken herself up from a deep sleep by yelling, quote, "Let's kick some ass!"
I did not know that. Dude got raised? What can I say? I'm a sweet treat.
It is a hilarious, perfect contradiction to her refined public image, and it shows you everything you need to know about who she really is. The most celebrated part of her story, the part that forms the emotional core of the entire franchise, for many, is her relationship with Tokai Teo. It is a dynamic so well realized that it is often cited by critics as one of the best written relationships in modern anime. It starts as a classic sports rivalry and evolves into a profound bond of mutual salvation when both of them suffer devastating, career-threatening injuries. The anime is unflinching in how it adapts the tragedy of McQueen's real-life career end, specifying her leg injury as a degenerative condition. That means it is an unstoppable decay, not a simple break that could heal with time. It is a doctor telling her, "You will never race again." Her
Unfortunate. Desuwa.
emotional breakdown that follows, this complete shattering of her usually composed facade, is one of the most powerful moments in the series. It is the pain of an elite athlete whose own body has betrayed her. While that story is her most famous, her importance is felt across the entire franchise. In the prequel manga Starting Gate, she is portrayed as the flawless, idealized benchmark that her stablemate, Mejiro Ryan, is constantly trying to live up to. In the video game, the main story for the entire first act literally begins with her debut. It is not just a character, she is a cornerstone. All of this, the design, the personality, the drama, is built on adapting known history. The true masterstroke of the writers, the most brilliant piece of creative translation, is a relationship built on a piece of history almost no one would know. I am talking about her dynamic with Goldship. To understand it, you need to know three things. First, the real-world anecdote, the famously calm Mejiro McQueen was stabled next to a notoriously difficult or obstreperous American stallion named Sunday Silence, and McQueen's presence reportedly had a significant calming influence on the volatile horse. Second, the
Interesting.
lineage. In the Umamusume world, the chaotic character Goldship is the fictional granddaughter of Sunday Silence. She inherits his wild, unpredictable temperament, while Sunday Silence himself is intentionally kept as mysterious, off-screen legend. So third, the connection. The
Peace,
writers needed
peace.
to explain Goldship's chaotic nature character without actually showing her legendary grandsire. They performed an ingenious act of narrative substitution, taking all of Sunday Silent's real-world personality traits, his mood swings, his difficult nature, and giving them directly to his granddaughter Goldship. The result is that the entire beloved, hilarious dynamic we see in the show, the unpredictable agent of chaos constantly pulling pranks on the perpetually exasperated queen, isn't random. It is a perfect mirror of the real-life stable dynamic of their progenitors. It is a deep-cut historical joke, and it is a work of absolute genius. It is this level of care that shows how the series uses
I love
history as a
Goldship
source
so
of
much.
true creative inspiration, going beyond the simple
Even though her poor eyeball.
facts. So we have the historical foundation, we have the meticulous creative adaptation, that is the official story. But in the modern era, that is only 2/3 of the picture. The third, and in some ways most dynamic, layer of a character's legacy is built by the audience. Instead of passively consuming a character like Mejiro McQueen, the community actively participates in her story. They interpret, expand, and sometimes completely subvert the original text. They become co-authors. One of the primary
Is Goldship there because grandson or because she's Sunday Silence's echo? I think the person that's making this video is saying for both reasons. Because Goldship is a McQueen's grandson and to mimic Sunday Silence's chaos. I believe that's what they're trying to say.
ways communities explore a character's relationships is through shipping, which is just, the fan practice of pairing up characters. With McQueen, the landscape is dominated by two major pairings, and each one acts as a distinct lens for understanding who she is. First, you have her relationship with Tokai Teo.
Heyo!
McQueen McQueen
McQueen!
McQueen だけだし
I like the way she says McQueen. It's adorable. McQueen! McQueen!
McQueen McQueen
This is the pairing that engages with her story
Whoa, look at them. That's an American Small right there.
on its own terms. It takes the deep emotional and often painful drama from the anime's second season and expands on it. The fan works here are overwhelmingly about that canonical connection, the mutual support, the shared
Why was Goku there? I wasn't expecting the cutaway to Goku and Supreme. That caught me off guard.
suffering, the loyalty. This is the lens fans use to explore McQueen as a serious dramatic protagonist. And then you have Goldship. This pairing operates on a completely different axis. This is the lens used to deconstruct her. It is almost entirely defined by chaotic humor and the classic opposites attract trope. The dynamic is always the same. Goldship does something wild and unpredictable, and the dignified McQueen is her exasperated but often secretly intrigued target. The real-world bloodline of grandfather and grandson only adds a layer of transgressive, forbidden humor that the fandom absolutely runs with. This is the space where her fans take her canonical dignity and gleefully throw it out the window. The fact that both of these ships are immensely popular shows the character's incredible narrative flexibility. The community is sophisticated enough to engage with her on two parallel levels
Whoa.
simultaneously.
She blocked her eye finally. I knew she wouldn't fall for it. She knew that she could protect her eyes and get through McQueen's tricks.
As a serious heroine or as a comedic relief.
Taishin.
Fan engagement also thrives in the
I'm telling you, every time I see Taishin winning ticket, crying and screaming Taishin just plays in my head rent-free.
beautiful chaotic worlds of
Goldship, why are you in Taishin's locker?
memes.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing, Taishin, to be fair.
You have the simplest, most enduring piece of fan creativity. The low-hanging fruit that was so obvious, it became iconic. The simple visual pun that merges her with a certain animated race car. It is a testament to her name recognition that after all this complex history and deep emotional storytelling, sometimes all it takes is just one look and, ka-chow. So when we look at the
Ka-chow.
complete picture, the real horse, the fictional character, and the community that surrounds her, it becomes clear that Mejiro McQueen isn't a popular character, she is something more. She's a cultural nexus point. This is a technical way of saying she's a meeting point, a place of where three distinct, powerful forces converge to create something new. First, you have the force of history. The story of the real racehorse provided the entire narrative with a foundation of authenticity and dramatic weight. The triumphs, the heartbreaks, the rivalries, they were real, giving her story stakes that you can't invent bits from scratch. Second, you have the
Go
force of adaptation. The
bananas.
writers and designers took that raw history and masterfully translated it into a character with emotional depth and compelling multifaceted personality. They gave the legend a face, a voice, and a heart.
I like how this guy's here is like, man, the depth of the character, their intricacies, so much heart and soul is put into this. And I'm watching here and going like, hey, hey, go bananas. I'm an idiot.
The third, you have the force of the fandom. The community took that character and gave her continuous life, reinterpreting her, expanding on her story, and ensuring her eternal relevance through their own creativity. Ultimately, her enduring popularity is no accident. It is a testament to a powerful formula, a deep and genuine respect for history, combined with imaginative and meticulous storytelling, all fostered within a creative and passionate community. She represents a new kind of modern legend, one that honors the past while being continuously co-authored by the present. Her story isn't a static monument, it is a living document that continues to be written. But anyways, that is all from me. If you like that video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below on which Umamusume character you want to see next. But yeah, that is all from me, Glaive Kyo, and I will see down
Wait,
below
who
on
was
which
that?
Umamusume character you want to see next.
Oh, Tachyon. I was like, that went by quick.
But yeah, that is all from me, Glaive Kyo, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers!
Nice. That was good. I enjoyed that.